One of the aircraft, and the man has been precipitated suddenly into a rarefied atmosphere. He will be suffering pain in his ears shortly, plus the decrease in the amount of oxygen.
One thing I'd like to ask you, how high has man been able to go up into the atmosphere?
Well, in excess of 80,000 feet, 83,275 feet, published record to date.
Well, by no odd coincidence, we have as our guest on the program Captain Charles Yeager, who has flown higher, more than 20 miles, and flown faster than any other man. And why don't we step over here and see some of this equipment that he uses. How are you there, Major? How's everything? I called you Captain. It's Major. Excuse me. I'm very, very sorry.
Quite all right.
We're interested in this piece of equipment. What is it, and how does it work, and what does it do?
Well, fortunate enough, people like you all are interested enough in aviation medicine to stay quite a bit ahead of the research pilots. Our needs are a little beyond production pilots. So here we have a T1 pressure suit, which was developed back in 1945, and we were using in 1947 in the original X-1 flights when we had to fly above 50,000 feet. As you explained before, you need pure oxygen under pressure to fortify your blood with oxygen to get it into the bloodstream, rather. Once you get above, say, about 46,000 feet, the rib cage won't support the pressure required to get this oxygen into the bloodstream, so this T1 pressure suit was devised. Now, on the leg, we carry a bailout bottle down here, which is not on this particular suit. It makes the suit self-sustaining. You can bail out of the airplane even at 100,000 feet, and it will take care of you till you get down to 40,000 feet where you don't need reinforcement for your lungs. It's automatically inflated by an aneroid cell. There are capstan tubes here that which run up each arm, down the back, and the legs inflate. That pulls these straps very tight, and it reinforces the body all over to keep from rupturing from the real high breathing pressures that have to go into your lungs. On top, as you see, is a crash helmet, which is more or less for protection and reinforcement. Here in the visor, we have small filament wires to keep the glass heated, to keep it from frosting up, since it's very cold on the outside and your hot breath on the inside would frost it up. And the face piece, as you can see, is removable for pilot comfort. It's snapped on and pressurized from the time you get in the airplane. And since you have quite a bit of pressure under your on your neck and on the head, this strap here and the cable that go on each side of the helmet keep from more or less stretching your neck when you inflate your suit. Now, this suit we use like a parachute. There's no need to wear it around inflated if you have a pressurized cockpit, but if you should happen to lose a canopy, which we did in the one of our research airplanes at above 70,000 feet, then that's the only thing that can save your neck. And we're very fortunate in I'll cover this as the radio, and we have the microphone
well, that's
here.
The microphone
yes,
right there.
Yes, he talks, and also your headset is on the inside of the helmet. And everything else is more or less just like a normal flying suit. You have incorporated inside a G suit, which takes care of high accelerations. And there again, we're very fortunate in having people who look that far ahead of the requirements of pilots, both in pressure suits and G suits, and they're doing a lot of study now on gravity-free flight. So it makes it makes a man feel pretty good when you're doing research flying to know that they're looking that far ahead of you.
One thing I'd like to ask you very quickly, our time is short, how fast have you been able to fly, or how fast can you tell us?
Well, we've been up to around 1,650 miles an hour in the X-1A. That was last December.
Oh, last December. Well, thanks very much for coming here to demonstrate this equipment, Major Yeager and Bill. How are you? And where's Dr. Lawrence here? How are you, sir? And we want to thank you very much for bringing all these things into the laboratory to demonstrate for us.
Thank you, Major, for coming.
We'll be back in just a moment. Our animal of the week is the angelfish, sometimes called the scalare. Now, these are fairly old fish. They're about 3 years old at the present time. They are one of the more popular tropical fishes, and we often get quite a number of inquiries as to what you should do to keep these alive and what you can do to keep them so that you will have some offspring. Well, now, the scalare likes to spawn perhaps on broad-leaved plants, such as this one we have here, or some people say that you should use a piece of slate as this, and there are some who swear by lamp glasses such as this. Now, whatever you do, however, you will find that after the eggs are deposited on the spawning surface, that very quickly the youngsters hatch. And over in this end tank down here, we have some 10-day-old scalares. They're very, very little fellows. For the first 2 days after they are hatched, they remain with their heads attached to whatever they happen to be on, and they wiggle their tails. 6 weeks, they're about this size, very cute little fellows and very, very nice. They have to have quite small food. About 12 months, they have reached this size. As you can see, they're about half grown, and finally, in a period of 2 or 3 years, they achieve the giant size that we see here. Now, as to food, you can feed them all sorts of things, dry food, or perhaps you can feed them, if you have it available, such things as brine shrimp. Now, we'll see they may discover that those shrimp are there and suddenly come up after them. To keep fish such as this, you have to have the proper temperature. In other words, about 75 degrees, and if you want to spawn them, then you have to keep them at a little bit higher temperature and increase their food supply. Very, very beautiful fish. This is the angelfish, sometimes called the scalaire. And we'll have to take these fellows back and put them in their regular tank at Steinhardt Aquarium. Perhaps you're wondering about this. This is one of the friendly snakes. And that is the type of snake that we will talk about on our next program. When as our special guest, we will have Dr. Robert Stebbins from the University of California. Friendly snakes, their value to mankind. It's a very, very important thing, and we hope that you will plan to be with us then. Thanks very much.
You have just seen another in the fascinating television series, Science in Action. Science in Action is produced by the California Academy of Sciences under the supervision of Dr. Robert C. Miller.